Hi, and welcome to this virtual Ryerson University Library presentation. My name is Val Lem. I'm one of the librarians here at the Ryerson University. I'm happy to welcome you to this session with SSH 205. And a little later, we'll be joined by Kelly Dermody, who's another one of the librarians, and we often work closely with the SSH 205 instructors. So we're happy to welcome you to our online virtual presentation. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen, and I'm going to actually begin with a little quiz to see who did their homework. Okay, so here we are. I've got 4 questions for you. Where is the best place to consistently find the free full text of scholarly articles? Is it the journal homepage, Google Scholar, Ryerson University Library website, or all of the above? I'll give you a few seconds to think about this. Okay. Ryerson University Library website is the best answer. And the reason why is because the library pays millions of dollars a year to subscribe to electronic content, ebooks, print books, services like databases. And not only that, we subscribe to quality resources that scholars will need. So when you're using library website as your gateway to your research, you'll have fewer frustrations, you'll get better quality results, and best of all, you will not see the horrible paywall where you're asked to pay money to access an article. That's a common problem with Google Scholar. It will find stuff that the library has, but it'll also find things that we do not subscribe to, and they'll ask you for money. Journal homepage, similar problem. They may be trying to sell articles from their homepage, or they might not even have a very good web presence through their homepage. So this is a very important takeaway. Start your research at the library. Second question. You found an informative article in the New York Times. Is it a scholarly resource? Yes or no? No, it is not. So of course, the New York Times, what kind of publication is it? It's a newspaper. Doesn't matter if you're looking at the print version or the electronic version, it's still a daily newspaper. It's considered to be a very high quality newspaper. Nevertheless, the people writing for papers are journalists. They could be experts in their fields. I mean, some of them have PhDs in various disciplines, but still the style of writing is not scholarly. The main difference, of course, is that there's no complete citations. Whereas if it's an in-depth article, they might reference research, like they could say, you know, Statistics Canada reported blah, 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 or the Pew Research Institute in a study last year, notes, la, 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 la. But they don't give you complete citation information where you can easily find that source that they're drawing upon. So that's one of the main reasons why it's not scholarly. Additionally, scholarly resources often go through a peer review process whereby you know, an article is critiqued by other people, the author revises it, and then it might get accepted and published. But with newspapers, you're lucky to have an editor read the content of your article before it gets accepted. So even though newspapers have a place, and at times they're the kind of resources you might need, it's still not considered scholarly. Third question. A celebrity tweeted something controversial. Where can you read about it in the next 5 days? Twitter, a scholarly journal, a book, or newspapers, social media, e-magazines. So Twitter might be an obvious place where you could look because that's where the original tweet came from. Of course, when you go there, if it was something controversial, the poster might have already deleted the post, but there's a good chance someone else has captured it and it'll be forever in cyberspace. And on their Twitter feed, they might have more information that relates to the tweet, or other Twitter users could have lots of information and opinions on the tweet. So Twitter itself is just one form of social media. Because of the currency, social media is where you would look for things that happened within the last 5 days. Newspapers that are published daily, of course, are another good place to look. And possibly e-magazines, because they have a very fast turnaround time between being written and published. Unlike print journals, which can have a long lead time. And the example of a scholarly journal, if it goes through the peer review process, it can easily take 6 months or a year before an article gets published. So if you're looking for something that's very current, you're not going to find it written up in a scholarly journal. And likewise, you're not going to find it written in a book, because books take years to write and to publish. Now, books are very important in some disciplines, especially ones like history, because normally history is looking at things that happened in the past, and there's often enough time for analysis of events and more new information to come forward. So books are really good in history to give you a contextual background to a topic, as well as going into a topic in depth, but they take a long time to produce. If you have something that happened very recently, you might not find a scholarly article about that particular tweet, but you might find scholarly articles that deal with the whole issue of controversy and celebrity and social media. So sometimes you'll have to go a little broader, looking at how that kind of situation is addressed in the scholarly literature, and then apply it to your own situation of what happened in the last 5 days. Different kinds of research tools, information sources, they all have a place in the huge information ecosystem. So here's our final question. This is the hardest one. Which search strategy will give results for both creation of celebrities and YouTube? A, YouTube or video sharing. B, celebrity or celebrities and creation and YouTube. C, celebrities, creation, YouTube. D, B and C. I hope that was enough time. Let's see what the correct answer is. Both B and C. So let me start with C, because that's the easiest one to explain. So, just like a Google box, you might just put in 3 of your keywords, celebrities, creation, YouTube, and hit enter or search, and magic happens. The computer programmer's algorithm spews out a whole bunch of results for you. But what actually happens is most databases assume when you put in simple words in a search box that you want to combine all those keywords. So celebrities, creation, YouTube is the same thing as if I had specifically said, I want information on celebrities and also on creation and on YouTube. So it's going to try to find articles or content that has all 3 keywords indexed somehow. B, however, is actually a better search for a couple of reasons. One is I've been thinking about my key concepts, and if I have one key concept which deals with celebrity, I might think, well, maybe an article didn't use the word celebrity, singular. Maybe it's talking about celebrities, plural. So maybe I should say celebrity or celebrities, broaden that concept into 2 words, but I want to keep that as one whole concept. So if I'm just using a simple search box, I can tell the machine by using the round brackets that I want celebrity or celebrities run as one part of the search. It's basically math, right? It's algebra. So math, what's in the brackets is done first. So celebrity or celebrities represents one key concept. And I also want the concept creation and the concept of YouTube. Now, if I put in the word and I've got them in capital letters, that's because and or, and another one called not, are 3 operators that all databases use. They're called Boolean operators. And it's a way that programmers create sets of data. And if you spell out the operator in capital letters, it makes it clear to yourself that you're using it as an operator, not as just a general word and. So B is actually a stronger search than C. I suspect I would have better results because it'll pick up both celebrity and celebrities. And I might actually get more results because I've done it that way. Because otherwise, if it's in C, it's going to miss the words celebrity singular. Now A, YouTube or video sharing, I just threw that in to make you think. Of course, YouTube is a video sharing platform. TikTok, another video sharing platform. So depending on your research, you might be interested in the specific video sharing tool, YouTube, or you might be more interested in just video sharing platforms in general. So that's a case where you could have said YouTube or video sharing and put that in brackets and made that one key concept. But then you're missing the other ideas in that A, because it's not picking up the celebrities and creation of celebrities. Okay, this is the hardest part about thinking about how databases work. So if you haven't mastered this yet, don't worry too much. And also the machine, if you're using advanced search, it helps you think about your search terms, keeping your concepts on separate lines, and it'll put in the brackets for you. So what I want to do next is talk a little bit about our welcome page. So the library homepage. So I'm actually going to try to stop sharing for a moment and switch to another screen so I can go live. So here we are, library.ryerson.ca. That's the library homepage. That's where we like you to start your research. So we have information for students here, which is pretty much the same information that you'll see down here. So you could take a look at the first year experience guide. We do have, we are circulating books, print books, using a contactless print pickup system, book returns. We also have a service called Scan and Deliver. For a few people who may find that they really cannot study at home for whatever reason, we are currently offering some study space on campus, but it's very limited. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It's sort of like a last resort for you. But we're also here to help you. So you can book appointments online for some help, and you can also chat live with an operator, a librarian or library technician, and it's open into the evening. I think it's 10 to 7, and then on the weekend there's some coverage as well. So we're here to help you. One of the things to note is that we do have a lot of research help guides. You can find them here or you can find them here. So I'll just look at research guides for a second, just so that you're aware of things, because let's say you're taking a history course. I'll use history as an example because that's one of my subject areas. I could go down here to the history guides, and let's say it's just the general course, or maybe I'm in Dr. Tunnicliffe's 10 Days That Shook the World. I could take a look at the research guide for that course, or I could look at the general history guide. And why might I be interested in this? It's because we're going to point out journal and article sources, other types of resources you can use that are specific to this discipline of history. So a lot of the search tools we're going to actually look at with Kelly Dermody are more general, and they're probably sufficient for most of your early undergraduate courses. But when you get into more sophisticated disciplines, often you'll need to consult the research guides to help you out. Just like if you take a business course, you know, it might be totally new to you, but the business guides will be very helpful, and we have an awful lot of them. So I think that's it for my introduction. Kelly's going to look over this, what I've covered, and she's going to pick up. So let me just go back. Clicking here will take me back to the library homepage. And here we are. So she'll be looking at things like search everything and perhaps how to find books using the old catalog. I'm not sure. But I'm going to turn it over to Kelly Dermody, and I thank you for your attention and your participation, and I wish you all the best. Okay, take care.